Hello, my name is Kashif. Welcome to this session that discusses Drop ILM Partition Support, which is available in 25.4 release for all Oracle Utilities Enterprise SaaS Cloud services. In this session, we will talk about this new feature and how it can impact your business. I'll give you an overview of Drop ILM Partition Support, followed by implementation details to explain how your business can take benefit from this functionality. Then I will walk you through a demonstration. Finally, I'll explain what you need to consider when implementing this product in your business and provide you with some additional resources. In 24A release, a Drop ILM Partition Support feature was added to provide support for customers to drop an ILM partition on their own. This functionality was limited to the oldest and empty partition for any ILM applicable maintenance object. It also supported metadata management specific IMD maintenance object, where the oldest partition with data could be dropped. Now in this release, we have enhanced this functionality so that you can drop the oldest partition with data for all ILM applicable maintenance objects. Additionally, dropping partition now requires going through an approval process within the application before they can be dropped. This functionality is backported to 24C to support our live and production customers. Drop ILM Partition Support allows customers to drop an ILM partition on their own without having to raise a service request to the cloud operations team. Dropping a partition requires two major criteria to be met, such as oldest partition first, and all rows in the target partitions are set to archive. This empowers customers to drop ILM partition with data quickly and saves storage space and costs associated with the partition immediately. Requiring a request and approval process before partition is dropped ensures its importance and necessary partitions are not accidentally dropped. The process starts through the ILM dashboard, where the customer can view a list of partition for ILM applicable maintenance object, select the oldest partition they would like to drop, and initiate a request to drop it. The process of requesting to drop a partition can only be performed by a user setup in the system as a requester. Once the request is created, approver gets the notification via to-do, and then user review the request and approve or reject it as needed. When approved, the partition is dropped. Oracle recommends that only a small set of users have this access to this feature, and also due to high importance, audit trail of all requests and associated approvals are pre-configured. The partition drop process must now go through an ILM dashboard and approval process. Previously, direct submission of batch control K1-ILMDR was supported, but in this release, due to addition of approving mechanism, direct batch job submission is not supported. The target audience of this feature is an experienced database administrators who also have experience on ILM partitions with associated data retention policies, and change management process. The reason for all these precautions and recommendation is because once the partition is successfully dropped, there is no way that Oracle can help you to restore it back. Now let's look at the Drop ILM Partition Support functionality. In this demo, we will see how we can use the new Drop ILM Partition functionality. First, we will navigate to ILM Dashboard Portal. Go to the Partitions tab. Select the target maintenance object that you would like to use for drop partition. Let's select the measurement, click search, and expand the maintenance object. Here you see the list of all the partitions. The latest is 2025 August, and we have oldest partition. As we know that Drop ILM partition functionality works on the oldest partition first, so we have to search for the oldest partition. Now here you see the partition list, and the oldest partition here is 2024 May. So we are going to drop this partition. Select the one that you want to drop and click on the drop partition. It will create a request for drop partition. And right now you can see the status is pending. The request is for your administrator who can review and approve or reject this request. In this demo, I will be having both roles, the initiator and the approver. So I'm going to click on the approve. and the confirmation is completed. Now, after the approval, the batch process will start in the background, and you can navigate to the batch view portal to see the batch execution results. If you have all the records in this partition marked for archiving, then the batch will be able to drop the partition. Otherwise, the batch will give you an error. Let's refresh and see. You see, May 2024 partition is now dropped and is not in the list. This will complete the demo. In this implementation advice section, we will go through what you need to consider before enabling this feature in your environment and what you need to know how to set it up. In order to enable this feature, implementation need to configure a user as requester and another user as approver. Both users should be part of newly provided user groups, which are drop partition approval request requester and drop partition approval request approver. As the new request generate a to-do for approver, both approver and requester should have a default to-do role assigned. A prerequisite exists for dropping the oldest partition with data. The crawler batch control associated with the maintenance object must run prior to requesting the partition drop, so that the required data based on the retention period is marked for archive, and when all the records in the partitions have archive switch as yes, the partition is ready to be dropped. In 24A release, an accelerator schedule batch stream was released with the name CM ILM Drop Partition to orchestrate the drop partition process. This is no longer supported because in this release we have introduced request and approval process. For additional information about this Drop ILM Partition Support, please see the Cloud Service Foundation Administration Guide on Oracle Help Center. Additionally, you can get more detailed training on information lifecycle management in the Oracle Utilities NOCI SaaS Platform Relationship course available on Oracle University. Thank you.